Kaiser Permanente says they've halted national contract negotiations because a union official is trying to blackmail them. In a statement, Kaiser says a United Nurses Association of California Union of Healthcare Professionals leader threatened to share damaging information about Kaiser unless an agreement was reached. Kaiser says they stopped negotiations so they would not be perceived to be making an agreement in response to the threat. They also say they'll continue negotiations at the local level with alliance unions who are not involved with this incident. The response comes after the unions yesterday filed an unfair labor practice charge against Kaiser for calling off the bargaining sessions.